figure below shows a line with the slope m and y-intercept 0b. To find the equation of the line, we can begin by locating on the line any point P with coordinates xy other than 0b. Now, the slope of the line is given by any two of its points. We can use the 2 points 0b and xy to write m is equal to y minus p all over x minus 0. Or we have m is equal to y minus p all over x. If we multiply both sides of the equation by x, then we will have y minus p is equal to mx. If we try to isolate y, then we need to add b to both sides of the equation. So that's the same as transposing negative b to the right side of the equation. So adding b to both sides of the equation, we obtain the equation y is equal to mx plus p. And so we were able to get the equation of the line with its slope m and whose y-intercept is 0b. We will be calling this equation as the slope-intercept form of the linear equation in two variables. We call this as the slope-intercept form of a line because in this equation, m is the slope and b is the y-coordinate of the y-intercept. Okay, so let's have some examples. Let us have our first example. Determine the slope and y-intercept of the graph of y equals 2x minus 5. So for our solution, we're going to make use of the slope-intercept form of the line. So we all know that the slope-intercept form of the line is y equals mx plus b. And by observation, then we can see that the given equation y equals 2x minus 5 is written in slope-intercept form. So meaning to say, we can easily identify the value of the slope from the given equation and also the y-intercept of that equation. So here, we all know that the value of m is the slope. And if we compare that with the equation y equals 2x minus 5, then we will see that m is 2 and b is negative 5. So here, we have m is equal to positive 2 and b is equal to negative 5. And so, this slope is positive 2 and the y-intercept is the point with coordinates 0, negative 5. Okay, so let's have our next example. What is the equation of the line with the slope negative 1/4 and y-intercept 0, 3? So since here we are already given the slope, which is negative 1/4, then we know the value of m is negative 1/4. Okay? Now for the y-intercept, we know that for the y-intercept 0, 3, this is the value for b. So we can write b is equal to positive 3. And so using the slope-intercept form, so we all know that the slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, right? So by substitution, then we will have y is equal to, what is m? Negative 1/4 multiplied by x plus b is equal to 3. So therefore, we have now the equation of the line, which is y equals negative 1/4 x plus 3. Okay, so for our third example, this time, let's try to write the equation of the line from a graph. So write the equation in a slope-intercept form of the line shown. So for the solution, we need to determine first the slope. Okay, so how are we going to determine the slope for the given line? So we can choose 2 points from the line. Okay, so let's just choose points whose coordinates are integers. Okay, so what are the points that can be considered? So we can try to choose 4, 2. Okay, we can also choose 0, -1, even yung -4, -4. But here, we only need to choose 2 points. Okay, I'm going to choose points 0, -1 and 4, 2. Okay, and then using the slope formula, so I know that the slope formula is m is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 all over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So now suppose for my chosen points, 0 is x sub 1 and -1 is my y sub 1. And then for the second point, 4 is x sub 2 and 2 is y sub 2. Then by substitution, we have y sub 2 for the slope. It's y sub 2, that's 2, minus y sub 1, minus a -1, all over x sub 2 is 4, minus x sub 1 is 0. So simplifying it further, I will have 2 minus a -1, that's 3, and then 4 minus 0, that's equal to 4. Okay, so the slope is equal to 3/4. Now here, based from the graph, we can see that the graph passes through the y-axis at point 0, -1. The y-intercept is the point with coordinates 0, -1. So now the y-coordinate in the y-intercept refers to the value b in our slope-intercept form. Okay, so here b is equal to -1. So by substitution, we substitute 3/4 for m and then -1 for b in the slope-intercept form y equals mx plus b. Therefore, the equation of the line is y is equal to 3/4 x minus 1. Okay, so how about if we don't know what the y-intercept is? So suppose we are given the 2 points on the line. So let's try to find the equation of the line that passes through the points 2, -1 and 4, 3. Okay, so to solve this, we need first to get the slope, or to determine first the value of the slope. So here, we're going to make use of the slope formula. So what's the slope formula? It's it's m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 all over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So we can write m is equal to 3 minus -1 all over 4 minus 2. Or we have 3 minus a -1 is 3 plus 1. So that's equal to 4. And then 4 minus 2, that's 2. So we divide 4 by 2. And simplifying it further, we have m is equal to positive 2. Now let's use the slope obtained and one of the points to find the value of b. So here, we're going to make use of the slope obtained, which is 2, and then one of the points. Okay, so we just have to choose from 2, -1, and 4, 3. So suppose we're going to choose 4, 3. So I'm going to write 4, 3 here. So we will substitute m equals 2, x equals 4, and y equals 3 in the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So starting with the form y equals mx plus b, we don't know the value of b yet. So we can substitute 2 for m, 4 for x, and 3 for y. So we replace y by 3, then m by 2, x is replaced by 4. So this is 2 times 4. Then you have plus b. Okay, so let's simplify our equation. We have 3 equals 8 plus b. Transpose 8 to the left side. So we will have 3 minus 8 is equal to b. Or b is equal to -5. Okay, so since b is equal to -5, and we all know that the value of m is 2, then we can now have the final equation, which is y is equal to 2 for the slope multiplied by x plus the b value is -5. So plus -5 is -5. So this is now the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. Now let's move to example number 5. So here we're going to rewrite the equation 2x minus 3y equals 6 in slope-intercept form, y is equal to mx plus b. So for that, we just have to solve for y in the given equation. So meaning to say, we will be isolating y. Okay, so for our solution, so we can start by writing the given equation 2x minus 3y equals 6. Okay, and then since we want to isolate y, then we need to transpose 2x to the right side. So we will have -3y is equal to -2x plus 6. Okay, so our objective here is to get the form y equals mx plus b. So I write -2x before the constant +6. Okay, then after that, I don't want to see any multiplier in y other than 1. So since there's a -3 beside y, then I will just divide both sides of the equation by -3. So that's the same as dividing every term by -3. So if we do that, then we will have y is equal to -2x over -3 is positive 2/3 x, and then positive 6 over -3 is -2. So we have y is equal to 2/3 x minus 2. So this is now the slope-intercept form of the line. Okay, so how about if we reverse the process? So this time, we'll start with the slope-intercept form, and then we're going to change it to its standard form. Okay, for our next example, what is y equals -3/5 x plus 2 written in standard form ax plus by equals c. So we start writing y equals -3/5 x plus 2. So let's get rid of fractions first. So we're going to multiply the equation by the LCD, and the LCD of every term is 5. So multiplying both sides by 5, we have y times 5 is 5y equals -3/5 x times 5 is -3x plus 2 times 5 is positive 10. Next, we transpose -3x to the left side. So we have 3x plus 5y is equal to 10. Therefore, this is now the standard form. So we can check a, b, and c are all integers, right? What else? A is positive, so we have positive 3. And then of course, the GCF of 3, 5, 10 is equal to 1. So that means we already have the standard form of the given line. Okay, so let's have our last example. So let's try to graph the equation y equals 2/3 x minus 3. Okay, so in graphing a linear equation using the slope and y-intercept, first, we need to write the equation in slope-intercept form. Now, since the given y equals 2/3 x minus 3 is already given in slope-intercept form, then the next thing that we're going to do is to identify the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, so let's try to identify first the slope and y-intercept. The slope is m, and the value of this is 2/3. What else? The value of b from the slope-intercept form is negative 3. So that means the y-intercept is the point with coordinates 0, negative 3. So after identifying the slope and y-intercept, so we can first plot the y-intercept on the Cartesian plane. So we already know one point on the line, and that is the y-intercept 0, negative 3. So we plot 0, negative 3 on the Cartesian plane. Okay, so we locate point 0, negative 3. So this is the point 0, negative 3. So I will just label it. We need to locate another point from the line. To be able to do that, we can make use of the slope and its definition that m is equal to rise over run to find the second point on the line. So take note, rise means how many units you move up or down from point to point. So this is referring to the change in y values. Whereas for run, it means how many units you move left or right from point to point. So this is the change in x values. If the slope is positive, so here the slope is positive 2/3, then the rise and run need to either be both positive. So kung parehong positive yon, we move up and to the right. Or if both are negative, we move down or to the left. So here we have m is equal to rise over run, and it's equal to 2/3. So there are two possible ways on how we can treat the slope as rise over run. I can also write it as negative 2 over negative 3. So now, since I plotted the point 0, negative 3 already, and if we try to look at the location of the point 0, negative 3, it is found below or at the lower part of the graph. So that means to locate another point, then we can just move up. So for that, we can make use of the ratio 2/3. So how are we going to make use of 2/3 to locate another point? So we start at the point 0, negative 3. Rise is equal to 2, and then run would be equal to positive 3. So based from this ratio. Okay. So to locate another point, we rise by 2 units. So if the rise value is positive, then we need to move up. So from the point 0, negative 3, or starting at 0, negative 3, we rise up by 2 units. And then a run of positive 3 would mean to run to the right by 3 units. We locate the next point, which is the point 3, negative 1. Okay? So actually, pwede nyong ulit-ulitin yung process. So you can rise up by 2 units again and then run to the right by 3 units. So you can locate another point. And then after that, we now draw a line through the points plotted on the Cartesian plane. So we can draw a line passing through 0, negative 3 and 3, negative 1. And of course, do not forget to label your line. That's the equation y equals 2/3 x minus 3. Okay, so now I want you to try to solve the following problems. Answer the following and then try to comment down below your answers. Number 1, determine the slope and y-intercept of the graph of the equation y is equal to 2/3 x plus 1/4. Number 2, write in slope-intercept form the equation of the line with the slope 1/5 and whose y-intercept is 0, negative 3. Number 3, write in slope-intercept form the equation of the line graph. Number 4, find the equation in slope-intercept form of the line that passes through the points 6, 1 and negative 4, 6. Number 5, rewrite the equation 3x plus 4y equals 4 in slope-intercept form y equals mx plus b. Number 6, rewrite the equation y equals 2/3 x minus 3/2 in standard form ax plus by equals c. And number 7, which of the following is the graph of y equals negative 5/2 x plus 2? A, B, C, or D?